Well, happy whatever Tuesday, I think it is, here on the new Main Street TV and the morning show. Thank you so much for tuning in. It has already been an adventurous morning here in the studio, and well, James, we may as well get to it. This is why we're a little late this morning. And yeah, so a sweet little birdie was here, and it just was chilling. It was not even scared. So then it just walks out. We're like, this way, go that way, little bird. There you go. There you go. And there we went. Smart bird, I will say. But yeah, we had to draw straws as to who was going to open the curtain, and I lost. So anyway. So that being said, Pete Wilson walked in the middle of it. He's like, "What are you people doing?" We're like,
I thought there was a COVID-19 quarantine going on or something.
What is that? I said, "Like, it's a bird. It's just walking around in here."
Well, I tell you what, you were successful. The bird was successful, and you were all successful. You saved a life.
Well, I hope so.
I'm glad nobody had a ball bat or something.
I know, right? The funny thing about that little bird is James is like, "Okay, I need you to walk out that door right there," and it just did. It just went right out the door, like it was so obedient, like we had it trained or something. So.
Well, it knows you have food up here, see?
That could be.
Not a dumb bird at all.
Not a dumb bird at all. So maybe it just wanted to be part of the show. You never know. But morning news update with our friend Pete. And, of course, brought to you by Nia Henry, agent for Appalachia Realty. Give Nia a call at 740-418-4135 if you need any real estate questions answered or help for that matter. So, Pete, I know there's a lot going on. It is election day.
That is very true. A lot of folks may not realize it. The turnout has been light, and that's predictable because all across the county, except in one place in Wellston, there is only one thing on the ballot, and that is the 0.5 of a mill levy to build a new senior citizen center and make capital improvements at the other two senior citizen centers in Wellston and Oak Hill. And so besides that, we have a precinct race in the city of Wellston. We'll give you just a little preview here in just a minute. But yes, Jennifer, this is Election Day, May the 3rd.
Forget.
Technically, it is a special election for Jackson County. Oh, it's May the 4th. Okay. Yeah.
We're close.
Okay. Well,
May 3rd,
how
4th.
come somebody didn't have a calendar queue for me? I mean, you can't expect me to know everything. It is May the 4th. We went through May the 3rd. All right. We did that once. No Groundhog Day here. But on May the 4th, it is special election day in Jackson County. It's labeled a special election because there's not normally levies on the ballot in an odd-numbered year in Ohio. But you can have a special election if you're willing to pay for it, and that's what the Board of Aging did.
Right on.
Because they want to move ahead with this, and perhaps they feel that they would have a better chance with this situation. As far as today's election, same deal as far as the times, 6:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. tonight. All the polls in Jackson County are open. That means 4 of them now. Remember, we've consolidated.
Yes.
So, the polling places are the Jackson Area YMCA, the Jackson Memorial Building, the Jackson Vinton Community Action Agency in Wellston, and the Madison Jefferson Fire Bingo Hall in Oak Hill. If you have any question at all about where to go, because this is about the 3rd election, these polling places have been in effect for some folks at least, where their changes were involved. Call the Board of Elections, check up on their website. It's listed there. Ask a friend who knows. If you're registered to vote and you haven't voted yet, either early or absentee, today is the day. All right. I did check with the Board of Elections just before we came on the air, Jennifer, and we're just barely around 300 votes as far as early in-person votes, which is a far cry from...
Wait, did you say 300?
300
votes
from the last presidential election. Remember, people really decided that they liked the idea of early voting. I know that there was interest in it. There was concern about the pandemic. It's hard to qualify and analyze exactly, how much early voting there is, because there's a lot of publicity to do it and so forth. but only about 300 votes so far, fewer than that on the absentees. I think it's about half that.
Okay.
On the absentee paper ballots that you could, have mailed to you, or you could pick up and fill out and drop back. There's still time to do that, by the way, if you have an absentee ballot. I think there's 5 absentee ballots that have been picked up that have not been returned as of now, but you can return them all the way up until 7:30 p.m. this evening at the Board of Elections. I think they had to be postmarked before that, though.
Okay.
So if you have that absentee ballot, you can still drop it off at the Board of Elections today. But the issues on the ballot, as we said, only 2. The 0.5 of a mill levy for the Jackson County Board of Aging. The Board of Aging is the board that controls the Senior Citizens Program, supervises the Senior Citizens Program in Jackson. And there's one of their signs out in front of the Jackson Area Senior Citizens Center on Mount Street in Jackson. And it's very relevant that we have that picture, because if the levy passes, they will generate some of the money they need to abandon this building, sell it, whatever, and build a new Jackson Senior Citizen Center. It would be on AC Avenue, where they have already purchased land. And the advantage would be the new center, it just wouldn't be bigger, but it will be newer. That's the key thing. It will be better equipped to do all the meals that they're doing now as part of their Meals on Wheels program. That's not what they call it. They call it home delivered meals, but it's a big service right now, especially with the pandemic going on, and there's still no activities at the senior citizen centers all over the county. But they don't have very much room in the kitchen. You can see this is one of their freezer units there. When Phil Buffington, our associate, was over there taking pictures, they had people standing close together side by side because of the number of people it takes to prepare these meals and the small space they have to do it. They obviously are working with an aging facility too. There are cracks in the walls in different places. This was the old Mound Street School that our school district saw fit to abandon about half a century ago. So, you can see that on paper, at least, there is a need for a new facility. The thing that they are emphasizing, the Board on Aging people, we've had them on the air here, is that just because they're building a new and bigger center in Jackson where there can be more congregate activities, meaning people come together, not just from the Jackson area, but from the whole county for socialization and other services, they are not going to close the Oak Hill Center or the Wellston Center. That is a negative rumor and speculation that happened as soon as they put this levy on. That is not the case. As a matter of fact, a portion of the money is going to go to make improvements to both of those centers. They're calling them capital improvements. So there will be all 3 centers going no matter what happens with the levy, pass or fail. They already do have a couple of small operating levies, but there's a difference between a building / construction levy and an operating levy. Those 2 small operating levies would not be enough to pay for, obviously, a new building. They need those levies to help operate the day-to-day program. So that's why there is another levy. It's separate. They certainly don't want to lump operating and building together and maybe take a chance that they would lose some operating funds because people don't think they should build a new facility. So that is the big item on the ballot today that we'll be following and that we'll be reporting on later on, of course, on all our media platforms. The race in Wellston, there is only one candidate race in the primary. The cities of Jackson both have primaries or potential primaries because their candidates are partisan candidates, meaning they file as either Republicans or Democrats, at least at the beginning. But there are no contests on the Republican side or the Democrat side in either city. When we get to the villages and the school boards and all like that, those are nonpartisan races. They weren't on the ballot, or they weren't supposed to be on our ballot, our May ballot. They will be on our general election ballot later. Those candidates don't even have to file their petitions until sometime in August, Jennifer. So that's why this is such a limited election. But the only contested race is in Ward 1 in Wellston, and there are 2 Republican candidates. The only people that will vote on this are people in Ward 1A in Wellston, which is basically the north side of the city. In that race, incumbent D. Keith Woolham, better known as Keith Woolham, maybe to the folks who know him, he is hoping to be reelected to another term. He has served 25 years but he is being challenged by another Republican named Angela Spangler. And there she is. The winner of that race will win the Republican nomination, and they may well be the next councilman, because right now there is no Democratic candidate and there is no independent candidate. The only type of candidate that could file from this point is a write-in candidate. And obviously, when you don't have your name on the ballot and somebody else has their name on the ballot, that is a big disadvantage for you. But we will be covering the election tonight when they come in. We know that there's not a lot on the ballot, but we know you want to know as soon as you can. And so thanks to the cooperation of everybody here at Total Media, we're going to be able to do that. The Telegram news team will be reporting on several of our media platforms. We will be reporting on WKOV 96.7 FM radio, as we normally do. We'll also be reporting on Spectrum Channel 1020 here on TV, where you're listening right now. And it will also be streamed on the Telegram Facebook page, Jennifer. So those 3 different places where you can tune in. And how we're going to do it, because we realize there's not a lot to talk about it. We know that. We're going to do reports on the half hour. We're going to come on the air at 7:30. That's when the polls close. We'll set the table. We are going to come on every half hour then afterwards until we know the results. And if the results happen to come in between, say, 8:30 and 9 o'clock, we're not going to wait till 9 o'clock to tell you. We're going to tell you at 8:40 or 8:45. We want the immediacy. We want you to know as soon as we know. But then we will wrap it up at that last half hour or hour spot for the folks who know that that's when we're going to do a report. So that's how it's going to work, Jennifer. We've never quite done it that way, but it seems to be the right fit. We don't want our folks to have to wait until it gets posted on the website, or hear it on the radio in the morning, or wait until the edition of the paper comes out. So that's how we'll do it. We'll also be posting the results on our website. That will be, of course, after all the things that we do electronically, but we hope to have that posted sometime this evening too. Of course, we have no prediction on how long it'll go. We can't tell you to tune in at 8:30 and you'll hear it all, or 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock or 9:30 even, because it's very unpredictable. We expect to get 2 reports like it was in the last election. We expect to get the report of all the early and absentee votes as soon as 8 o'clock. We would expect it by 8 o'clock. So those will be that portion of the votes. Then we won't get another report until all the votes are in. It could be very soon, because there's only 4 polling places and the voting is expected to be light because there's not much on the ballot. But once again, you never know. So we're prepared for anything. We especially want to thank James Hamilton for organizing our coverage from a technical and production standpoint. But there'll be many other people involved, and we have some sponsors as well. A lot of people had to be willing to do this. And so we thank them all, and we hope you'll take the opportunity to listen this evening. There was another red letter date election-wise, Jennifer, yesterday. That was May the 3rd, by the way. That was when independent candidates could file petitions. The way it works for the cities, there was a filing deadline back in February for partisan candidates, partisan meaning Republican or Democrat. That's how you have to run in the primary. More and more in the last 10 years or so, candidates are willing to run as independents. What that means is you don't have an R or D by your name. You're an independent. You don't have a party affiliation, at least as a candidate. You don't have to file as an independent until the day before the primary. So there were 5 candidates for city offices that filed prior to the deadline at 4 p.m. yesterday. In the city of Wellston, there were 3 candidates who all filed for at-large councilmen. They are Roby Browning, Tom Clark, and Fred Doobie. Roby Browning and Tom Clark are already city councilmen in Wellston. They're incumbents. Roby ran as an independent last time. Tom Clark ran as a Republican, but this time he didn't, but he's choosing to run as an independent. Fred Doobie has been a councilman before, and now, I believe he was 4th Ward councilman. Now he is wanting to run as an independent. So there will be 3 independent candidates for at-large council in Wellston, because Teresa Pond Lamaster, a challenger for 4th Ward council as a Republican, filed earlier as a Republican candidate, there will be 4 people running for those 3 at-large seats in Wellston. In the city of Jackson, 2 independent candidates came out to run for at-large council. Dan Call, who is a current at-large councilman as a Republican. This time, he didn't file as a Republican, but then he thought about it and decided he would run as an independent. So his name will be on the ballot as an independent. Also on the ballot as an independent will be Barbie McCatherine. Barbie ran for mayor in 2019 in that 3-way race involving Megan Peters and Randy Evans. She lost that, but she's obviously still very interested in serving in city government, and this time she's running as an independent candidate. Now, that means when we roll around to the November 2 election, there will be 5 candidates seeking that at-large council spot because 3 other Republicans had previously filed: Brett Foster, Marva Colby, who are incumbents, and former city councilman John Ondera. John had been a city councilman for 2 terms before. He sat out in the 2019 election, but now he wants to run again as an at-large councilman in 2021. What we don't have in the city of Jackson, Jennifer, is a candidate for 4th Ward Council. That is over on the west side of town. Pete Bopp had run, is the current 4th Ward Councilman. He had filed as a candidate in the primary. However, he was one of the candidates who had their petitions nullified because there wasn't enough valid signatures. Some thought that maybe he would file as an independent candidate. He did not do that, and neither did anybody else. So right now, for the 2021 general election ballot, there is no 4th Ward candidate in the city of Jackson. So that opens the door for write-in candidates. You have a chance to be elected as a write-in candidate if there's no other candidates on the ballot. So I would expect some write-in candidates.
Do you have to file to be a write-in candidate?
Yes, you do, but the deadline is not until August the 23rd.
Oh, okay.
But your name will not be on the ballot. There will be a blank there with write-in candidate, I think, listed on there, and you have to know to write in that name.
And then if nothing happens, then will that be appointed?
If nothing would happen, then it would become an appointment. I'm not sure whether it would be a mayoral appointment, a council appointment, or I don't think it would be a political appointment because nobody, no Republican or Democrat had that seat to do a reappointment. So I think it would be I think it's a city council appointment, and if the city council doesn't act, the mayor gets to do it.
Okay.
But we've not had that before, so I'm not sure. But
interesting.
But that would make sense. No, it seems strange that no one was interested in that 4th Ward council spot. But there could be at-large or write-in candidates, and we would expect that. All right, we do have an update from the Jackson County Health Department on COVID-19. It's a good news, bad news type thing. We did have another COVID-related death in that last week. That period of reporting is April 26th. That's a Monday through Sunday, May the 2nd. A 7-week period or 7-day period. There was one more death. There's now been 63 COVID-related deaths in Jackson County, dating back to the beginning of the first case, which was in late April of last year. We passed the 1-year period now for COVID cases in Jackson County. But the good news is, we don't want to leave that out. There were only 12 new cases reported in the last week. That is the lowest that I can remember in a long time. I was going to research that, and I just didn't have time. But I bet you would have to go back to the end of last summer when the cases slowed down and everybody thought we might have whipped this thing. 12 cases in 7 days, obviously, is less than 2 cases per day. The previous 1-week report was 2.6 cases per day, and the previous week report from that was 4.9 cases per day. So I know those numbers, you keep hearing them, but they have been better now for the last 3 to 4 weeks in Jackson County. Jackson County, however, is still orange. They are not yellow yet. Vinton County, we reported, of course, last week, it went from orange to yellow. Vinton County, by the way, they have given us some new reports as well. If you look at it over the last week in Vinton County, 6 days, April 27th through May the 3rd, they reported 4 new cases in a 6-day period. That obviously is less than 1 case per day, 0.67 as a matter of fact. The number of active cases did go from 2 to 4, and their hospitalizations went from 0 to 1. However, They had no new COVID-related deaths. You can see on the infographic there has been a total of 19 deaths over the long haul in Benton County. By the way, I left this number out. Go back to Jackson County real quick. On Jackson County right now, there are only 7 active cases, and that is down from 12 from the previous report. So that is all very good. Last night, the Jackson County Health Department announced new coronavirus COVID-19 immunization clinics. They will be on a walk-in basis, and they're at different places for the convenience of the public. There will be one today, as a matter of fact, from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. at Bundy Elementary School in Wellston. Then there will be one tomorrow, May the 5th, at Oak Hill High School from 2:30 p.m. until 7 p.m. Then on Thursday, from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m., we go to Jackson, and there will be a walk-in clinic at the Jackson First Church of the Nazarene. Then next week, a week from today, on Tuesday, May 11th, there will be a walk-in clinic at the Jackson High School Fieldhouse. That will be from 3:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. We will have this information on the radio. We'll have it posted on the Telegram website, and of course, it will be in tomorrow's edition of the Telegram. We already have that information shared on our Facebook page. As far as these clinics are concerned, people scheduled for a second dose of the Moderna or Pfizer vaccine should attend one of these clinics that we just mentioned. That would wrap you up on your second dose. Anyone who missed getting their second dose earlier could come as well. So if you were delayed getting that second dose beyond the normal waiting period, by all means come to one of those clinics. Once again, anyone 16 years of age and older is welcome to attend any of those clinics. They will also be offering the Johnson & Johnson vaccine for those who prefer that vaccine. What they're saying now, Jennifer, on exposures and such as that, is that 2 weeks after you've had your second vaccine, you're considered to be clean.
Yeah.
Meaning that there should be no chance that you're going to infect anybody else. 2 weeks after the second vaccination, or 2 weeks after the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, which is a one-shot deal.
Yep.
The governor had another press conference yesterday. Of course, he talked about COVID-19, and the big news there is it affects long-term care and nursing facilities. He announced that according to a new Ohio Department of Health order, all fully vaccinated staff members are now exempt from routine testing. So all those folks who had the tests or had the vaccination, they will not have to keep getting tested if it's been 2 weeks after they got the vaccination. And they, of course, were vaccinated earlier than a lot of the rest of the population because of the fact that they're in a long-term care facility around the older folks. Staff members who were not fully vaccinated, because this was not mandatory, they will be required to be tested at least twice a week. An individual, once again, is considered fully vaccinated 2 weeks after their second dose of the Pfizer or Moderna vaccine, or 2 weeks after their single dose of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Okay, turning to other news, at the last meeting of the Wellston City Board of Education, and this is COVID related too, the school board, each of these school districts have a chance through the Coalition of Rural and Appalachian Schools to give an award, a hero award, to somebody in their district who has gone above and beyond serving the school district population and the students. In the Wellston City School District, at the last school board meeting, Karen Bach, the superintendent of schools, presented the Chorus Award. That is short for Coalition of Rural and Appalachian Schools. She passed along the Chorus Hero Award to the school nurse in Benton County, and her name is Kelly Wall.
Yay, Kelly!
Kelly is right there in the center. Karen is on the left, and School Board President Brian Kilgore is on the right. Karen said that was her quote, "We have lots of school heroes, but in the midst of COVID, one stood out specifically, and that was Kelly Wall. We want to present her with the Chorus Hero Award for what we consider heroic efforts working with families, students, and staff as it relates to COVID-19 contact tracing, illnesses, and protocols. She worked with compassion, empathy, and perseverance." So she just didn't have an important job in the middle of all this. She did it the right way. So thank you Kelly Wall, and the school district certainly appreciates you as well, as you can see. All right, the Jackson County Democratic Executive Committee is going to have a very important meeting for their party tomorrow at 7 p.m. at the Jackson County Municipal Courtroom. Their important business will be they are going to pass some bylaws that are important in how they operate and their policies and so forth. But the big decision they will be making is picking a new party chairman. Starla Chenault has been the party chairman, still is, but she let them know back in February that her personal and professional life very busy right now, and that she was going to step down. She gave them until May to try to recruit someone or let the word get out that they need a new chairman or chairwoman. And so hopefully for the Democrats, candidates will come forward, and within that group, the executive committee, they will pick a new chairman or chairwoman to lead them into the near-term future. All right, some other nice things that are going on that we want to mention, a couple, three as a matter of fact. Tomorrow, that's May the 5th, James, the Jackson Firefighters Association will sponsor a Kona ice sale from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. on the parking lot of the Seward Folks Insurance Agency at 738 East Main Street in Jackson. That is the former OVB Bank before they built their new place. It's right by OVB, as a matter of fact, so you know where that is. But they are going to be selling the ever-popular Kona Ice. A lot of groups have latched onto that as a fundraiser. And what are they going to do with the money? It's not going to be firefighting equipment or anything like that. It's going to be for the fireworks fund. The Firefighters Association got good reviews last year when they did the fireworks for the Christmas season after the Christmas parade. They'd like to do that again, but of course they don't want to shortchange the 4th of July fireworks, which are actually on July the 3rd in Jackson. So this is a fun way to give a little bit to that without, not making a big business donation, just an individual donation. This is a nice way to support that fundraising effort by getting you some Kona ice, because that's what the money will go for. The Wellston High School Arts Fair will be held this week. The time for the public to see what all the kids have done with their art projects will be this Thursday, May the 6th, from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. It will be in the gymnasium. The public is cordially invited to visit. There's been so many things the public hasn't been allowed to, but you are allowed to go to this. But you'll be in the school inside, and you should be prepared to have your mask ready and practice social distancing. But the gymnasium is a big place, and they feel the public should be invited to come. Also, this Thursday evening, May the 6th, at 7 p.m., there will be a unveiling of the new art exhibit at the Marquet Cultural Arts Center. This will be the Ray Anderson art exhibit. It will be on display through May the 28th. Of course, we just finished up with the Jackson County, Benton County High School Art Show, but the Marquet is located at 269 East Main Street in downtown Jackson. That reception is at 7 p.m. It is open to the public. Once again, COVID-19 protocols will be in place. That means wear your mask, and there will be social distancing, but the public is welcome to come. That's your first chance to see artwork of Ray Anderson. It will be on display for about a month. So, Jennifer, there you are. And we invite you to, we want to invite all of our viewers, readers, listeners to join us again at 7:30, starting at 7:30 tonight for those election returns. Hey, you don't have to listen to me or anyone else drone on and on. We're just going to come on, give you the skinny, and we'll come on, as we say, every half hour starting at 7:30 on WKOV 96.7 FM, Spectrum Channel 1020, or the Telegram Facebook page every half hour until we get the results. We hope it won't be a long night.
That sounds good, Pete, and thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, and Pete's Morning News Update, always brought to you by Nia Henry, agent for Appalachia Realty. If you're looking to buy or sell, please give Nia a call at 740-418-4135, and she'll work hard for you, as she does for everybody. All right, let's head on over to your Zip Printing weather forecast, where I'm starting to get lots and lots of graduation announcements in the mail, and I would say that most of them have been printed at Zip Printing. So if you are looking for something for that graduate, whether it be a yard sign or a banner or a poster, please give our friends at Zip Printing a call at 740-286-3023, or you can visit, of course, yourtotalmedia.shop for more information on that. All right, some rain in the forecast. Well, pretty much all week long. Partly cloudy today with showers likely, highs around 77. For tonight, mostly cloudy with showers likely, lows around 51. No wonder that bird came in. It was just trying to get in and out of the rain. For tomorrow on Wednesday, partly cloudy with some scattered showers once again. That chance tomorrow is a 50-50 chance with highs around 64. And looks kind of like the mid 60s for the next few days, and then maybe warming up Sunday and Monday just a hair. But that rain still continuing on. All right, well, our good friend John Boy is in the house today. So how are you, buddy?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Well, it's so good to see your smiling face here. And I know that you always talk about, particular days on the program,
Right.
but James has brought props today
It
for
must
a particular
be May
day.
the 4th.
May the 4th. Oh, I have to do it?
May the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you.
Yeah.
That's right. It's Star Wars Day. Wait, do stormtroopers talk?
Yeah, they talk.
They don't sound like Darth Vader.
Well, well, Darth Vader talks too.
Matches your outfit, by the way.
It does,
It kind
doesn't
of
it?
does.
I may just wear this the rest of the day.
The significance of
Woo!
May the 4th, or Star Wars Day right now, is
May the 4th be
that
with you.
May the 4th
I like it.
is the fact that since we've all been locked down during this pandemic, we all resemble Wookiees.
That's no lie.
That's true.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yep.
No kidding. So is there a rest of an outfit that goes with this, James?
Yeah, I do have the whole armor, but unfortunately it doesn't. I bought it secondhand, so it doesn't fit me quite right.
Oh, bless his heart. He's
I
our
have
resident.
the Chewie outfit. I have.
Yeah, you do have
Yeah,
a
John
Chewbacca.
was Chewy for Halloween.
Yeah. Well, why didn't you wear it today in celebration?
Nah.
May the 4th be with you.
There it is.
Get it? That's so funny.
By the way, did you know that Star Wars is the fans are going to be treated to May the 4th deals? Have you seen that, James?
No,
From
I don't.
Legos.
I haven't seen any deals, but I know Star Wars Legos are big money.
They're big money now, and the toy
Star
builder is
or
now.
Legos appreciate in value faster than gold.
Legos?
Yep.
Yeah,
Shut
they're
up.
bringing out
Really?
Star Wars. That you can assemble the Legos for Star Wars memorabilia. For instance, they put together a $200 R2D2 model that's going to be available this week.
That's a cheap one.
A Darth Vader helmet, it's $70. Scout Trooper helmet, $50. And and you can also register during this week with Legos to get some Star Wars discounts.
Hey, I mean, sounds good to me. Why not?
Yeah.
So, when you say that the Star Wars Legos appreciate, I assume that they can't be opened.
Well, they just don't sell those sets for very long. Like it'll only be, new available in stores for a relatively short period of time,
Gotcha.
and then the secondhand market for them goes crazy.
Who knew?
But
I
like,
know.
You don't even have to buy bars of gold. You just buy Legos.
Just buy Legos.
Seems like a little bit more up our alley.
We're relying on supply and demand
Right.
for our retirement fund.
The fact that Star Wars continues on the way that it does, it's like timeless.
That's true.
Isn't that crazy?
It's going on and on.
Like the rest of us, or not like the rest of us.
I'm having issues getting the photos to show on the screen right now.
Hmm.
But John, you said that one Lego set was $200.
Yeah.
So this came out a year or so ago, but this was a Millennium Falcon Lego set,
Right.
$799.99.
Whoa.
I believe that's the most expensive regular Lego set ever. It has 7,541 pieces.
That's a bunch.
So do they give you like instructions on how to assemble this stuff if you get Legos?
They do indeed.
They do. Okay.
Lego is actually very good at instructions.
It's kind of like putting
Instructions.
a IKEA dresser together.
Yeah.
Instructions.
Yeah,
We don't
right.
need no stinking instructions.
If you're trying to build the 7,000 piece Millennium Falcon
Yeah,
Lego set,
like-
you most definitely need the instructions.
I feel like I need to see what that looks. How big is it?
It's huge.
Like-
It would be like the desk that you're in front of is like barely big enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
And like, what would you do with it?
They make them that are smaller.
Oh yeah. $799. Are you kidding me? I was looking to see. Oh, and it's temporarily out of stock.
Yeah, so if you look on eBay, it's probably a couple
Yeah, like-
$100 more.
$1,500 or something.
So how many do you want?
Right? Hmm.
Oh, I know why the bird was here.
Please tell.
Today is National Bird Day.
It is?
It is.
Well, we were celebrating and we didn't even know.
Now, this is the celebration for the, fine feathered friends, that kind of bird, but it is National Bird Day.
Is it the same as Give the Bird Day?
No, it's not.
Oh, that's so much more fun.
It's also
Drat.
it's also Respect Chickens Day today too.
Okay.
Did you know that?
No.
Now, celebrating
respect how
Respect the
delicious they are.
Chickens Day does not involve devouring a large bucket of Colonel Sanders.
I mean,
okay?
I'm just thinking I could respect chicken by going down to the Quick Stop and getting some of the crispy, crunchy tenders.
That's right.
For sure. I would show them the utmost respect.
But the bird was in here to remind us that it's National Bird Day.
You know, that was the most obedient bird I've ever
I know.
seen in my life.
Feed the birds. And
It just did exactly what we asked it to do. It was as if it listened.
okay.
That or it was just so scared that it just
It took one look and left.
yeah, it ran. It flew the coop real fast.
Yeah.
That's funny. But no, I'm all about respecting chickens. I think they're fun.
Pete Wilson was looking out the Total Media weather window yesterday.
Somehow we don't.
Trademark.
That is so interesting. Huh. Very pretty.
Very nice.
Yes.
I made the mistake of going outside about 20 minutes before that.
Not so nice.
Drown a little bit. All right, so I talked about this yesterday.
Okay.
John, James, cars painted this color depreciate the least over 3 years. And okay, I will preface it by saying that there's certain models of this car. So like this would be like regular vehicles, SUVs, coupes, and sedans. So this color for SUVs, coupes, and sedans holds the like least depreciation of cars over 3 years. What would you guys guess the color is?
So they hold their value, huh?
They hold their value the
Okay,
most.
all right.
Yes.
Well, I know, unfortunately, that the most popular color among automobiles is gray.
Yes.
So that can't be it.
Mm-hmm. And okay, so I will give you numbers. The average depreciation of this color over 6 million transactions was 37.6%. Or I'm sorry, was 20.4%. The average of other cars was 37.6%.
Okay.
So this depreciated 16% less, this color.
Okay. Would it be black?
Black?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good guess.
You told me the answer yesterday,
Oh, I
And
did tell you
it's-
the
and
answer.
it's surprising.
What
I
would you
would've-
have guessed?
I would have guessed red.
Red. I would have guessed red. So, the old arrest me red. Everybody loves a red
Because
car.
I've always heard that red cars cost more to insure
Oh, yeah.
because they tend to be sportier.
Yeah. I don't know. Anybody have a guess out there? So, John guesses black.
Well, Rick cheated and guessed correctly.
Oh, did you
but-
look it up,
But he
Rick?
cheated.
The answer is yellow.
Yeah, that's the look I gave when she said that yesterday.
Maybe
I
it's
guess a
because
lot of
they're-
sports cars are yellow too.
Maybe it's because they're few and far between.
Maybe
Yeah.
because there's only like 5 out on the road. Yeah, the answer is yellow.
Like Andy that works downstairs at Zip, he used to have a yellow Camaro that
Uh-huh.
looked like the one from the Transformers
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
And I can see that car having like a good resale value.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's not really what I think of when I think of yellow cars. I think of like a beat up taxi or
right.
you know,
I know.
something like that.
Yeah. So yellow is number 1, and then what do you think is number 2 and number 3?
I'm sticking with black.
Black?
I mean, I feel like it's got to be black or red.
You still sticking with red?
Yeah. I mean, I don't,
Okay.
unless it really is just like popular because there's so few of them.
Well, the next color doesn't make any sense. It's beige.
Well, maybe that's the other way. Is there's just so many of them,
Maybe.
or at least there used to be. I feel like in the '80s, every car was beige, other than sports cars.
Right? I guess. So I guess was beige is the new gray? I don't know. So beige was next, and then not black or red, orange.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
It's way out there.
Yeah.
So for
I learned my lesson early on a beige car. The very first car I bought with my own cash was beige. And all my buddies, all my friends said, there's John driving a car that's baby poop brown. And I've never bought another one again.
I mean, you just say I'm being very smart. It's the color of dirt. And that way it doesn't show so much.
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
Mine showed dirt.
Well, I mean, at least if there was baby poop on it, no one would see that.
That's true.
So yeah, there you go. And who knew, right? I would have never guessed any of those colors. Yeah. Beige performed best for trucks, red for convertibles, and blue for minivans, though.
Okay.
Just to show you.
And speaking of favorites, I guess the U.S. Kennel, the American Kennel Club, has come out with their latest list of the favorite dogs.
Okay.
The breeds that Americans like.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1 for 30 years in a row,
The lab.
the Labradors, Retrievers, followed by German Shepherds.
Yes.
Golden Retrievers was next.
Mm-hmm.
French Bulldogs,
Mhm.
and then Bulldogs. Beagles, Rottweilers, followed by German Shepherds, and Welsh Corgis.
Yeah, so corgis are up on the list now. I grew up having corgis, and no one knew what they were
Yeah.
back then. But yeah, so it's interesting. Jamie and I were talking about this the other day, actually. You used to see a lot of Rottweilers and Dobermans and things
Right.
like that out there, and now it's like they've been taken over by pit bulls.
Okay.
But you just don't see a lot of like full-blooded Rottweilers out there anymore.
I've had Karen Terriers. I like them. They're nice dogs. They don't shed, by the way.
Were those is that like what Toto is
Yes.
on The Wizard of Oz?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and so the golden retrievers, it's kind of like having a lab, but like with a ginormous fur coat.
That's right.
But I can promise you, having a yellow lab, we can brush Marley about 3 times a day, and she still looks like Pigpen. Like
Okay.
you touch her and it just. I'm like, how does this dog have a hair on her body? How is there anything left?
I know.
So-
Well, we're very fortunate at our house. Connie and I, we have adopted, some pound puppies, and
Yes, you
I
have.
think they have all of those favorite breeds in one. So we got such a deal.
You did.
That's right.
Like all in one.
That's right.
I think that's fantastic. No, and they do say that, the pound puppies, I feel like, are healthier. They're not overbred so much and that kind of thing. And, Jamie and I had 2 dogs before we had Marley that were big dogs and were something we found along the road. And both one lived to be 17 and one lived to be 16. So
Okay.
I think they just are healthier in a way.
Ours are ornery, but
Well,
they're
of course.
healthy.
Ornery and healthy.
Ornery and healthy. Yes.
No, I think it's kind of like, I feel like animals and dogs and whatever, they find you.
Our dogs have that innate ability to lay down and take a nap, get
Mhm.
up, walk 3 feet, lay down, take another nap. What is with this?
I know. But don't you wish you lived that life?
I know.
I eat, I go outside,
Right.
and I sleep.
I sleep. There you go.
And get biscuits occasionally. And have snacks.
And they go crazy over snacks for sure.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic.
Hey, by the way, speaking about sleeping,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to talk about naps later, but they have found in the latest study that Americans now take an average of 24 minutes to get out of bed.
I can
Most
see
people
that.
hit the snooze alarm twice,
Okay.
which, and they also found that their alarm clocks are going to the wayside, and people are, of course, using their smartphones
Mm-hmm.
as their alarms. So anyway,
It seems like, there's that alarm clock noise that every alarm clock sounds like, and you hear it in a movie and it just makes you cringe because you're like, oh, that's what I
Right.
wake up to every morning. It seems like they should make alarm clocks with much more pleasant sounds.
yeah, your phone, you can
Yeah.
pick your own poison
You
with
could
that
wake
one.
up to,
Yeah.
the sound of music or
But
something.
I'm thinking if a smartphone was so smart, then it would just go ahead, instead of ringing, let you push snooze twice, just wait 24 minutes and then go off.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. Are you a snooze pusher?
No.
No.
No. I mean, I'm sort of thinking to myself, okay, I push that button and I get 12 more minutes of sleep. What makes me think, or anybody think, that in 12 minutes they're going to get up, want to get up anyway?
It's not going to be any different.
It's not going to be any different at all.
I will say what I do is I hit the snooze, but I turn on the TV to catch some of the national news and stuff. But I keep the alarm on just in case I would happen to doze back off.
Okay.
So it's like research and development with that little extra,
Wake up call.
yeah, just in case. So I think that's fair.
Do you dream when you sleep?
Yeah, I had some crazy dreams last night, like some dreams where you woke up and you felt like you'd run a marathon because it was so stressful. Do you ever do that?
Yeah, and this latest study, which doesn't make any sense to me, they are saying that our dreams are actually reenactions of what we've learned that day.
Really?
Yeah. They were doing studies on those who were fighting paralysis, and of course they were taking measurements of the brain while they were awake and while they slept, and they said that while they were awake, they had these measurements, and the brains went through the same cycle when they were asleep.
Interesting.
So if mine's like you, my dreams are short and make no sense. So does that mean that my day doesn't make any sense?
I haven't learned a darn thing today.
I didn't learn a thing.
No, and I wonder about that because I feel like I'll have dreams that I can totally associate with something that might have happened 3 days ago
Yeah.
or whatever. I don't know that's necessarily that day, but maybe it is.
I don't know.
I don't know. But boy, there can be some really disturbing dreams out there. I woke up this morning, I was like, whatever I ate last night, I'm not going to do that again. And I can't even remember what the dream was, but I just remember I woke up and I was just terrified.
And no matter what my day is like, if you ask Connie, when I lay my head down on the pillow, I go out like a bear that's been shot with a dart. So I don't remember much.
I don't know. Have you ever had like sleep paralysis? That's a thing.
Sleep paralysis.
Yeah. So there's it's a sleep disorder, and
Okay.
I've had that happen to me numerous times, and it is the weirdest feeling. So you're like, in your mind, you're trying to wake up, but
Okay, yeah.
you can't move.
You can't get out of the dream.
Yeah. And you're trying to wake up, but you can't, but you're cognizant that you're trying to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Super crazy. It's like my body won't move.
Yeah, putting it that way, that's happened a few times. But
Yeah. Oh. I think there's people that actually get treated for that because it gets so bad.
really? Okay.
Yeah. That would be terrifying if it happened all the time. So.
Okay.
James, you ever had anything like that?
No, not really. But I will say this: when I was a little kid, I remember having this dream where I like sat down in the chair and the chair tried to grab me. And it just stuck with me forever. And this past weekend, I was watching Scooby Doo with my 2-year-old nephew.
Yes.
There's an episode where Shaggy like sits down on a chair, but like the mummy is sitting on the chair, and Shaggy sits on the mummy's lap unknowingly, and the mummy tries to grab him. And it was so much like that dream I remembered having when I was a little kid.
You're like, oh my
So I was
God.
like, did I see this as a child?
Did I watch
It
that, or
scared
did they
me to
do an
death.
episode off of my dream? Which one was it? Which came
Well, yeah.
first? I don't know. Do you guys all have like the recurring dreams? I know Courtney and I were talking about that the other day here.
Not so much now as it used to be when I was a kid.
Like I can't remember my locker combination and
Yeah,
all
they're
that.
always going somewhere, and you just can't quite
Or you're trying to
Make it-
run and you can't
quite
get going.
there. The one I was having with a kid is that the world's coming in, and we all sat down in the stadium and watched it come. You just whoopee, here it comes.
Wow, you really had some bad dreams.
It was bad. By the way, speaking of sleeping, did you know that you can pick up a gig? I mean, get paid for napping?
Sign me up.
Wasn't that Dagwood, the comic strip Blondie? Wasn't that his job?
Yeah,
he was
that
a
was
mattress tester.
Yeah.
Really?
I think
There's
so.
There's a
That's
mattress
awesome.
company called Each Night, and they're running a promotion, and they're going to pay $1,500. They want, I think, 5 individuals, and they're going to be napping every day for 30 days.
Okay.
And they want you to wake up after the nap and write a review of the nap. So the naps, of course, will differ in length, and they'll help determine, what midday naps and how that affects your memory, your motivation, and even your productivity. And you must be over the age of 18, of course.
Okay.
And if you want to apply, you still have till May 31st.
Well, I say sign us all up.
You want to be a professional napper?
I would love to be a
Now-
professional napper.
Now's your chance.
I could do that all day long.
That's who they're looking for.
Finally, something I'm good at. I figured it out. That and chasing birds, evidently, out of a room.
I'm glad I could help.
Thanks, John. You're the best. All right. Well, it looks like we've kind of come up on time, but I did want to thank our friends at Callahan Hardware. Speaking of birds, they have all of those great bird feeders out there, and you can celebrate National Bird Day by going out and getting a bird feeder and all the feed and all the accessories to feed your fluffy feathered friends, and hang that up there. And that's a good thing to do. Also want to thank Chip and Kathy at the shop. If you have any events coming up that you would need trophies or plaques or any kind of awards for, give them a call at 988-2841, and they'll take good care of you with the custom engraving. Anything you can basically think of, if they can get it in their machine, they can do it for you. And maybe even a stormtrooper helmet. You never know. We could get your name put on it, James. Do stormtroopers have names?
They have numbers. They have identification numbers.
Okay. What do you want your number to be?
I don't know.
Oh.
Well,
Think about it.
The regular stormtroopers all start with TK.
TK?
Yeah, and then it'll be a number after that.
What does TK stand for?
I don't know. It's a good question.
Why do
what
you
it
not
stands
know?
for. I don't know. That's the way George Lucas wrote it 40 years ago without coming up with a reason why.
But you're our resident Star Wars nerd, and you don't know? Now we've got to figure that out.
A lot of the things in Star Wars, it's just something that Lucas did, and then it became a thing over time, and then they like went back and retconned and made up reasons why things
Made up why.
But it was really just whatever George Lucas wanted to do.
I got you.
But also Lucas changes his mind and like re-releases the movies with really weird changes that don't make any sense.
Okay. You know why? Because if you're George Lucas, you can do that, right?
Yeah. Well, he can't anymore because he sold it all to Disney.
True. All right. And did want to shout out to Carman the Carman, where the deals are great. Stop out and see them. And as we said earlier, the Crispy Crunchy Chicken at the Quick Stop, where you can celebrate Chicken Day today.
That's right.
Yep. So, all right, John, it was so good to see you today. Thanks for hanging out with us this
Good to
morning.
be here.
Of
Thanks
course.
for the invite.
Anytime. You know you're welcome.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Well, have a great day, everyone. Looking outside the weather window at this juncture, it is, shall we say, wet. So hang in there today. Looks like some rain all day long, but it should be pretty good temperatures. So have a wonderful day, and we'll be back here tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.